This is a Kawasaki Ninja 650, or at least, it used to be. Right now it's sitting in the back corner of a scrapyard, buried under 2 years of dust, spider webs, and a tarp that's done more harm than good. The tires are flat and cracked. The chain is seized solid with rust. And somewhere under all this grime, there's a sport bike that used to turn heads on the street. Today, we're bringing this motorcycle back to life. No shortcuts, no guessing. Just a full teardown, a real diagnosis, and a rebuild from the ground up. By the end of this video, this motorcycle is either going to start and run again, or we're going to know exactly why it won't. Let's get into it. We picked this Ninja 650 up for almost nothing. The seller didn't even know the full story behind it, only that the engine had cut out mid-ride one day, and it never started again after that. It sat outside, exposed to rain, sun, and dust for close to 2 years. Before we touch a single bolt, we do a full walk-around inspection. This step matters more than people think, because it tells us exactly what we're dealing with before we start taking the motorcycle apart. The fairings are cracked in at least 4 places. The right mirror is missing completely. The chain and both sprockets are covered in thick rust, so thick that the rear wheel barely turns by hand. The brake fluid in the reservoir has turned dark brown, which usually means moisture worked its way into the system a long time ago. And the battery is completely dead, drained so many times it's basically useless now. We check the frame numbers and look closely for any sign of a crash, a bent fork, or a twisted frame. Thankfully, everything lines up straight. Before any part comes off, we photograph the entire motorcycle from every angle. Every proper restoration starts with documentation. You want a clear before record of every part on this machine, because 6 hours into a teardown, memory alone isn't reliable. Once the motorcycle is inside the garage, it goes straight up on the lift, wheels off the ground, and the teardown begins in earnest. The fairings come off first, one panel at a time. Every clip, every bolt, every washer gets bagged and labeled according to which panel it came from. Skip this step, and you'll spend hours later trying to remember which screw belongs where. It's simply not worth the guesswork. The fuel tank comes off next. Inside, we find a layer of dried, varnish-like residue coating the bottom, left behind by fuel that sat far too long without ever being used. That tank is getting a complete internal cleaning and a rust treatment before any fresh fuel goes anywhere near it. The seat and side covers come off after that, and for the first time, we can really see what 2 years of neglect did to this motorcycle underneath all that bodywork. With the plastics and tank out of the way, it's time to figure out if the engine itself is actually worth saving. We start by pulling the spark plugs, and they're fouled with a thick, dry carbon buildup. Not a great sign on its own, but not necessarily a deal breaker either. Next, we run a compression test across all 4 cylinders. The numbers come back within a normal, healthy range, and that's genuinely the best news we've had all day. This engine isn't seized, and it isn't dead. We move on to the fuel system. The old fuel inside the tank and lines has turned thick and gummy, exactly what you'd expect from fuel that sat untouched for 2 years. We drain it completely, then pull the fuel injectors and test them on the bench to check their spray pattern and flow rate. The oil comes out next, and it's dark, sludgy, and clearly long overdue for a change. We swap the oil filter, run a flush through the system, and refill it with fresh oil once everything is clean. We also inspect the coolant system and find some corrosion inside the radiator, so that gets flushed out and pressure tested before we trust it to keep the engine cool again. Mechanically, this motorcycle is honestly in better shape than it looks from the outside. Cosmetically, though, it's a completely different story, and that's where the real work begins. Now comes the part of any restoration that nobody particularly enjoys: rust removal. The frame itself turns out to be solid, with no structural rust at all, just surface corrosion in a few spots where the original paint has worn through over the years. We hit those areas with a wire brush, treat them with a rust converter, and prep the surface for fresh paint later on. The subframe took the worst of the damage. Sitting outside for so long meant that water constantly pooled right where the seat used to sit. We sandblast the badly corroded sections and carefully check for any pitting deep enough to actually weaken the metal. Fortunately, it all turns out to be surface-level damage, nothing structural. The wheels come off next. Both rims have visible surface rust across the spokes, but they're still straight, with no dents and no bends anywhere. We strip them down completely, clean every single spoke by hand, and prepare them for a fresh protective coating. The brake calipers are in rough shape. The pistons are seized solid from years of trapped moisture and old, contaminated fluid. We rebuild both front calipers completely, fitting new seals and new pistons, and cleaning every surface down to bare metal so they move freely again. With the motorcycle fully stripped down and cleaned, it's time to start working through the list of parts that need to be replaced entirely rather than repaired. The chain and both sprockets are a total loss at this point, so they get replaced with a fresh matching kit. The brake lines are old, brittle, and starting to crack, so those get swapped for new lines, along with a complete flush and refill of fresh brake fluid throughout the whole system. A new battery goes in to replace the old one, which is long past saving. We also replace the fuel filter, both sets of spark plugs, and the air filter, which was so clogged with dust and debris that it had essentially turned solid. For the bodywork, we source replacement fairing panels to match the ones that were cracked or completely missing, along with a new mirror to replace the one that clearly never made it to the scrapyard, along with the rest of the motorcycle. Every worn cable, every perished rubber grommet, every corroded fastener gets inspected individually, and if it isn't right, it gets replaced. This isn't about making the motorcycle merely look repaired from a distance. It's about making sure every system underneath the surface is genuinely reliable again. Now comes the most satisfying part of the entire process, putting this motorcycle back together, piece by piece. The engine components go back in first, each one torqued to the exact factory specification, with every connection carefully double-checked before moving on to the next. The wheels go back on with fresh wheel bearings installed, and we fit the new chain and sprockets, adjusting the chain tension precisely to Kawasaki's recommended specification. The bodywork goes on panel by panel, and with the new and repaired fairings finally back in place, you can genuinely start to see this Ninja 650 this motorcycle was always meant to be, hiding underneath all that damage and neglect the whole time. We reconnect the wiring harness, carefully checking every fuse and every connector along the way, then top off every fluid in the motorcycle. Fresh oil, fresh coolant, fresh brake fluid. Every system gets one final visual inspection before we even think about turning the key. The new battery is connected. There's fresh fuel in the tank. Every single system has already been checked, and then checked again. This is the moment that decides whether the last several weeks of work actually paid off. The starter cranks. The engine catches, sputters for a second, and then settles into a steady, even idle. And there it is. That's an engine that sat completely dead for 2 years, running again like it never stopped. We let it idle for several minutes, watching closely for any leaks and listening carefully for anything that sounds even slightly off. Oil pressure looks good and stays steady. There's no smoke coming from the exhaust, no knocking from inside the engine, nothing but a clean, confident idle from a motorcycle that, just a few weeks ago, looked like it belonged in a landfill rather than on the road. Now it's finally time to see what this Ninja 650 can actually do out on the street. The throttle response is smooth right from the very first ride. The brakes bite hard and confidently, thanks entirely to those freshly rebuilt calipers. The chain and sprockets run quiet, with no slack and no hesitation through the gears. This motorcycle rides like it never spent a single day rotting away in a scrapyard, forgotten by everyone who passed it. From a rusted, forgotten pile of parts sitting under a torn tarp, to a fully running, fully restored Ninja 650 back out on the road. That's exactly what a proper motorcycle restoration looks like. No shortcuts, no guesswork, just doing the work the right way, one part at a time. If you enjoyed watching this build come together from start to finish, make sure to subscribe, because there's already another rescue project waiting in the garage. Thanks for watching.